Have you ever felt the weight of chains, not physical, but chains of addiction that seem to bind you, leaving you yearning for freedom? Freedom is a promise God has given to each one of us. Let us journey through some powerful Bible verses that speak to this promise and how they relate to breaking free from addiction. 1 Corinthians 10:13. No temptation has overtaken you that is not common to man. God is faithful, and he will not let you be tempted beyond your ability, but with the temptation, he will also provide the way of escape, that you may be able to endure it. This verse tells us that there's no temptation that you are facing that is not common to man. God, in his faithfulness, will not let you be tempted beyond your ability, and with the temptation, he will provide a way out. This speaks directly to anyone battling addiction. It assures you that you're not alone in your struggle, and there's always a way out. Galatians 5, verse 1. For freedom, Christ has set us free. Stand firm, therefore, and do not submit again to a yoke of slavery. This encourages us to stand firm in the freedom Christ has given us and not to submit again to a yoke of slavery, which can be likened to the bondage of addiction. Here we are reminded of the liberating power of Christ and urged to hold on to it. In James 4:7, submit yourselves therefore to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. The scripture advises us to submit to God and resist the devil, who will then flee from us. This verse is a reminder that submitting to God and actively resisting temptation can lead to liberation from addiction. Romans 12:2, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. This speaks about the transformation of the mind. It encourages us not to conform to worldly desires, such as addiction, but to renew our minds. This renewal helps in discerning the will of God, which is good, acceptable, and perfect. Psalm 34, verse 17-18. When the righteous cry for help, the Lord hears and delivers them out of all their troubles. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. This assures us that when the righteous cry for help, the Lord hears and delivers them from all their troubles. He is near to the brokenhearted and saves those crushed in spirit. This verse offers comfort and hope to those struggling with addiction, reminding them of God's nearness and salvation. 2 Timothy 1:7 tells us that God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and self-control. This verse is a powerful reminder that you have been equipped with everything you need to overcome addiction. In Philippians 4, verse 13, I can do all things through him who strengthens me. We find a powerful declaration of strength that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. It's an affirmation that with Christ, overcoming addiction is possible. Isaiah 41:10 is a comforting verse that reminds us of God's promise of strength, help, and upholding during times of fear and dismay, such as the journey of overcoming addiction. Matthew 11, verse 28-30 is an invitation from Jesus to all who labor and are heavy laden to come to him for rest, a powerful reminder for those carrying the burden of addiction. Hebrews 4:16, let us then with confidence draw near to the throne of grace, that we may receive mercy and find grace to help in time of need. This encourages us to approach God's throne of grace with confidence, so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help in times of need. This is particularly relevant when battling addiction. Psalm 107:20, he sent out his word and healed them and delivered them from their destructions. This speaks of God sending out his word to heal and deliver from destruction. This verse is a testament to God's healing power in the face of addiction. John 8:36, we are assured that if the Son sets us free, we will indeed be free. This verse is a powerful declaration of the freedom that comes from Christ, a freedom that includes liberation from addiction. May these verses provide comfort and strength on the journey to overcoming addictions, because any kind of addiction represents idolatry. Where the heart and mind is occupied is a connection and form of worship. So God does not want anyone to be in bondage of falsehood of idolatry. Worshipping the wrong gods is detrimental to our lives. These verses remind us of God's promise of freedom, his faithfulness in our struggles, and his power to help us overcome. 1 John 5:21, my sons and daughters, keep yourselves from idols. Colossians 3 verse 5, put to death therefore what is earthly in you, sexual immorality, impurity, passion, evil desire, and covetousness, which is idolatry. They assure us that with God, freedom from addiction is not just a possibility but a divine promise. Samuel 12:21, and do not turn aside after empty things that cannot profit or deliver, for they are empty. Jeremiah 25 verse 6, do not go after other gods to serve and worship them, or provoke me to anger with the work of your hands. Then I will do you no harm. So the temptations in your life are no different from what others experience, and God is faithful. He will not allow the temptation to be more than you can stand. When you are tempted, He will show you a way out so that you can endure. So hold on and meditate to these words, for in them lies the path to true freedom.